Hey everyone, it's Ashton Rodenshiser here. I hope you had an amazing day at Productized today. I hope that you learned a lot and maybe even met some new friends along the way. So I'm just going to go over the graphic recording that I created for Sean Silkoff's talk today. So as a graphic recorder, I listen in just alongside everybody else and capture in a visual way the information that was presented. So I love this tool as a learning and memory retention tool to really help you be able to digest the information after the talk is over and remember it, and then hopefully even incorporate some of those ideas into your own life. And he had some great notes about innovation at the end to kind of think about as we go along. A couple years ago, I founded a business called Mind's Eye Creative Consulting, where I primarily do this type of work, graphic recording, as well as graphic facilitation, where I'd be visualizing meetings and strategic plannings and sessions and the like. So I was asked just to kind of go over this visual with everybody and just sort of walk through it with you. And so I can kind of talk about my process as I was listening to the conversation unfold. As you can see here, I was inspired a little bit from the productized brand colors and used some red and pink and blue tones as I was unfolding this as well. So you can see here, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and kind of walk you through a little bit here. So we started with the Blackberry. He talked about the original one, and I kind of try to draw out what that kind of looked like about 22 years ago. And then he went on to kind of speak about a little bit about radio and pagers and cell phones and kind of where in a timeline that kind of those things came out. And to try to link the story together, I use these red and sort of pink tones here throughout to kind of so that your eye can kind of follow where the story went. So he went back and talked about the original Blackberry again, and we followed along, and he gave you a few he talked about a few features of it. So it didn't have a period key, it didn't have a shift key, and about how you could cradle the keys and how that was like, a design element. The one that kind of came before that was the Fat Boy. So we sort of, I just sort of tucked it in there as well. But the user experience was an afterthought. So we were talking mainly about the original one after the Fat Boy one there. He went on to kind of talk about how there was a lot of education around this, and how customers didn't even really know that they needed it, and they had to teach them about how to make that downtime really useful. They added things like the contact and the calendar to kind of rival the Palm Pilot as well. And then went into a bit of the marketing. In early 1999, they really used that puppy dog approach when they were at trade shows and offered it to people where, you take this home, and in 30 days, if you don't want it anymore, then you can give it back, which most people didn't, of course. And then it went global, and the two companies there, the O2 and Vodafone, really picked it up as well. So then we moved on to, we had the 2000 version as well. I forgot to mention that. Then we moved on to the next few years, the Pearl came out. But unfortunately for the Pearl, 26 days later, the iPhone came out. So where it was like a whole computer inside of the iPhone, which was unfortunate for the BlackBerry. So, it goes on to kind of tell a little bit more of the stories throughout the next few years, and how the creators of the BlackBerry really struggled with the idea of a touch screen, and weren't really feeling it, and didn't think a lot of people would like it either. And then Android came out, and then he snuck a story in there closer to the end around the Playbook versus the iPad. And as the Playbook came out, some of the design features were a bit clunky and was a bit confusing to customers. And at the end of the day, the theme that I really heard a lot in there was around how they were really solving a BlackBerry problem. They weren't solving customer problems. They weren't looking at the customer experience. They weren't seeing what was going on, and they just weren't innovating in the way that some of these other companies like the iPhone was. You can see here as well, here in the middle, there was a few notes on innovation that he kind of wrapped up the talk with as well. So, marketing it in the right way, right product at the right time. And I like this idea of transforming how a task is performed, how it reorders the world, which is definitely what we've seen even for the last number of years, but really, really recently with even more technology coming out. And then we have to bend, break, and make our own rules to really kind of drive that innovation forward. So I hope you liked my little story as I was helping, and if you missed the talk, then there you go. You can understand what was said during the conversation. So yeah, I really hope this was really useful for everybody at the conference. I'm doing another talk as well tomorrow, so you can stay tuned for that, as well as check out the schedule for a coffee chat, and I'm going to be in there talking, as well as I have a digital freebie. It's a 30-page free ebook that I recently just finished. I was a year in the process of making it, so I really hope that you really sign up and take a read through. If this type of work interests you at all, if you want to be able to help visual your own meetings, your own sessions, even just amplify your own personal note taking and add some visual tools and elements, definitely take a peek at the visual communication method ebook that is available to everybody here today. So again, my name is Ashton Rodenshiser. I'm with Mind's Eye Creative Consulting. You can find me at mindseyeCreative.ca. And I hope everybody has a great rest and gets all rejuvenated and ready to go for another day of Productized tomorrow. All right, thank you so much to the Productized team for having me, and I really hope that this visual tool and this visual summary today, and the one as well tomorrow, can really help solidify the messages coming out of the event and help you be able to remember it and engage with the information further and deeper. Have a great rest of your evening, and looking forward to connecting with you tomorrow.